get into it later on, but I do want to show you by using this tool, I can actually control it by cutting apart to the front plane, the top plane, or the right plane. So we look at this by cutting it through the top plane. I'll okay it now. We can see a section view of that part. The little icon here allows me to turn it off or on. But what I've got is a taper here that I don't want to happen on the inside. I want it to fall out to the outside. And there's only one way for me to do that I know of, or the simplest way I know, is to create what's called a revolve. We're going to go into revolves now, and I'm going to start with something much simpler than this shape, and we'll work our way up to it. So for now, go straight to new part. And for some reason this thing just wants to stay latent there. Okay. Any one of the planes doesn't really make any difference. I'm going to sketch on the front plane this time again. Remember I told you about center lines. If I pause over that and we read along the bottom, it says, I use center lines to create symmetrical sketch elements. We were creating mirror sketch elements. Those are symmetrical. Same on one side as the other. Revolved features, which we're about to do right now, or as construction geometry. So I'm going to create a center line for this revolved feature. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to happen to place it on origin, but it wouldn't have to be. I'll just make a vertical line. Using the quick drag method, I make an independent line, and I'll make a circle. Now here. With those two bits of information, I'll escape the circle tool. I'll even click out here so that neither one of them is selected, but I didn't even need to do that. Even if it was still selected with that circle, if I go straight to features and revolve boss base, watch what it does. Creating a revolve. It sees that center line and it says, ah, that will be our axis of revolution. This circle here will be our closed shape, and we'll just revolve it around that axis. Now, before I turn them over to you, this is so simple to make. The main thing is if you want to make a revolve, you want that axis somewhere. And the easiest way is to use a center line to create it. Now we have a blind revolve that goes 360 degrees, but as you can imagine, if I were to bump that down, you can pretty much see what it's doing. I could reverse the direction for the blind, have it go the other way. Let's make it something like, I don't know, 120. Hit enter once and I get a preview. I can reverse that direction coming from that. Or guess what else I could do? I can make it mid-plane. Take that 120 and split it in half. I can make it a thin feature. Now I've got an elbow. So, and let's see, as far as the up to vertex, up to surface, offset from surface, these are options we're going to be talking about probably next week. For right now, I want to kind of stick with the simple ones, the mid-planes, the blinds. We do have, should have a direction 2. Made the thin piece, but I don't see direction 2. What's going on here? Because I have mid-plane selected. Blind allows me to select direction 2. Make it, let's say 50. Enter. Now, it's not, I don't say it's not possible. It is possible. Switch those. For a second there, I had a brain fade, a senior moment, and couldn't remember that I could swap them. In any event, everything else is pretty much what I've told you. There's a thin feature option, there's selected contours if you had to select certain contours from it. But let's go in for right now and just play with